Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. We are going to start off by doing a headstand prep class. So we're coming into first our grounding child's pose. Allow yourself to sit back. Find a comfortable version or variation of child's pose, whichever one feels right for you. Taking these breaths in, set an intention for the practice. Allow yourself to just continue to breathe deep. You might, because this is going to be a bit more of an active, more faster paced practice, you might need to focus on something a little more inspiring. Maybe it's, igniting that flame of accomplishment or whatever variation. Take that time to find what feels right for you. Just taking about 3 more deep breaths here. Taking that final breath. On the exhale, we're going to begin to gently sit up, rolling up into tabletop position. So, from tabletop, we're going to take some seconds to warm up a decent amount of our wrists and body because we're going to be coming into a headstand in the pose, or in this sequence. So, we're going to start off by doing some tabletop forward leans. So we're in our tabletop, we're going to begin with our feet over our hips, wrists over our shoulders, gently begin to lean forward, past the wrists, and back. Leaning forward, past the wrists, and back, sitting back onto our feet. Gently just trying to really stretch out and press deep into our hands. Be mindful to press especially deep into the index and thumb of each hand, kind of pressing into that space. It's a really good way to kind of warm everything up and allow it to really get the most out of it. We'll begin to rotate the fingertips internally towards each other. Deep inhale, lean forward. Exhale, begin to sit back. Inhale, lean forward. Exhale, sit back. Inhale, lean forward. Exhale, sit back. One more inhale, sitting forward. Exhale, sitting back. Come back to that neutral tabletop. Begin to rotate the fingertips away from each other towards the long edges of the mat. Deep inhale, lean forward. Exhale as we sit back. And continue this process of leaning forward and sitting back 3 more times. Now you may think this is excessive because we're doing it 5 times each direction, but I promise you, having very warmed up wrists, I don't see the loss of benefit in there. So from here, we're gonna rotate the knuckles down onto the mat. You wanna be very gentle with this one, so just lightly rocking back and forward. Don't go too hard on these parts of the wrists unless you're conditioning them with martial arts and such. It's not going to feel very comfortable, so definitely don't put all your weight down onto this one. And we'll begin to release. We're going to come into tabletop circles now, so we're going to rotate clockwise or just one direction 5 times, breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. In and out. We're going to switch directions, going the other way. And out. In, out, in, out. From here, we're going to rotate our hands towards our knees. We're going to gently sit back, pedaling the feet. Just do this a few more times, allowing, just stretching out every part of the hands, especially because we're going to be utilizing them in the peak pose, so very much so. From there, rotate back, shake the rotate the hands forward, sit back and shake the hands out. Do some quick wrist rolls, one direction and the other. Come back to that neutral tabletop. We're coming into cat-cow. Inhale, arching that low back, sending the navel towards the spine, gazing forward. Exhale, push the ground away as hard as you can, rounding those shoulders. Inhale, arching the back, navel to the spine. Core is engaged, looking ahead. Exhale, crunch the abs, push the ground away, round those shoulders, looking towards our stomach. One more time. As we come into this cow, arching the back, engaging the core. Exhale, crunch the core together, looking towards the belly button, push that ground away. Come back to neutral. We're gonna do some quick threading of the needle. So inhale, lifting the left arm up, grounding into that right hand, gaze towards the left thumb. Exhale, thread down, really allowing that left arm to go behind the right as you thread deep and back into this pose. Inhale, back up. Exhale, thread that left arm back through behind the right. Inhale, back up. Exhale, thread it behind the right. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, we come back up. We'll do the same thing. Coming back up, raising that right arm now. Planting and grounding into that left arm. Exhale, thread the right arm behind the left as you twist down. Inhale, back up. Exhale, behind the left with the right. Inhale, right arm back up. Exhale, thread it behind, thread the right arm behind the left. Final one. Deep, deep inhale. Exhale, release. Come up. We'll come into thunderbolt pose for 2 seconds. We're just gonna lean over to the side, each direction. I'll even switch my angle so you can see better. Over to the left now. Back over to the right. Over to the left. And back over to the right. Back over to the left final time. Come back up. Place the hands on the shoulders as we roll our head one direction and then the other. Come back into that neutral tabletop position. We're going to step up into plank. Exhale into low plank or chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, coming up into either sphinx. Elbows are at chest. Forearms are down, hands are down. Or we're going to come up into upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. This is our first downward facing dog of the practice, so just pedal the feet. It's okay if you need to take a little bit of time here. And from here, we're gonna come into a little bit of the first sequence is gonna be a little bit slower than the next, just to kind of prepare you for it. So inhale, lift the right leg up as we come into three-legged down dog. Breathing here. Exhale, open stack the right leg on top of the left so that the hips are stacked together. Right hand is still very grounded into the mat. Opening up that hip. Breathing here. Learning how to push that ground away. Learning how to Keep that core engaged. Inhale. We're gonna bring that knee into our chest, holding here. Really crunching that core, engaging that core, pushing the ground away. I want to see this very active. Inhale. Exhale, drop the right knee down to the right wrist. Again, pushing that ground away, keeping that core engaged. Inhale, right knee to left wrist. Exhale, really crunch that core. Right knee to the left elbow now. Holding here. Inhale, back up to three-legged dog. Exhale, holding here. Inhale, begin to step the right leg in between the hands as we gently begin to come up into crescent lunge, keeping a decent amount of weight in both the right leg, but also in the left. Arms come up. Into this crescent lunge. Breathe deep here. Exhale, cactus the arms down. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, cactus the arms again, opening up that chest, pulling those shoulder blades together. Inhale, back up. Exhale, we're coming into this revolved crescent lunge now. Right arm behind us, left arm ahead. Breathing deep here. Inhale, begin to press deep into that right foot. Left hand comes down as we come into this half revolved, half moon pose. You should be feeling it deep in the glute, opening up that chest, engaging that core. Inhale, begin. Ooh, you might have to reset, come back into that half moon, because sometimes you lose your balance and that's okay. Really brace the core. That's probably a better one. Inhale to brace the core. Exhale, with the core still braced, we're gonna raise our left knee up. Palms come together, holding here so we can ground ourselves in. Inhale as we begin to open this left leg over to our left. Revolve it back, extending the arms forward as we come into this warrior three. Warrior three pose, and you can do the T-arm or the airplane variation, whichever one feels more comfortable for you. Deep inhale and exhale. Drop that left leg back, coming into reverse warrior. Left arm place on the left thigh or behind your back as we roll the right arm up and over our heads. Breathing deep here. Deep inhale, roll the right arm forward and behind you. Exhale as we fold down into this pyramid pose. Breathing deep here. If you need to, this is the time to use a block if you need it, or place your hands down onto the floor and allow you to round more forward. We're trying to keep the right leg as straight as you can, but if you need to bend it, do it, please. This is your practice. Breathing deep here. And on the exhale, we're gonna plant the hands firmly down onto the ground. Step that right foot back into this three-legged plank. Now, if you need to drop the left knee down, totally understand. But we're gonna try to challenge ourselves with this so that we can prepare to engage our core, pushing the ground away. Deep inhale. On the exhale, we're coming into three-legged Chaturanga Dandasana. Go nice and slow. Dropping all the way down. Great job. Inhale, coming up into upward facing dog. Breathing here. Exhale. Roll all the way down, all the way back up into downward facing dog. Deep Inhale, lift that right leg up. Into three-legged dog. Exhale, step the right foot to the outside of both of the hands. So we're coming into this lizard lunge. We're gonna rock forward and back for 2 seconds. And then from here, drop that left knee down. Reach for this left foot. Now you might find you might need a belt or a strap. This is the time to do so. We'll gently begin to pull firmly on this, pushing our left foot away from our right hand. Holding here. And begin to release. Coming back into plank. Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. We're coming into dolphin pose now. Inhale, exhale, drop the elbows down so you're on your forearms coming into this dolphin. And inhale, we're gonna roll through into plank, coming back up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, we drop the forearms down into dolphin one more time. Exhale, we roll through and back up into this downward facing dog. One last time. Inhale, dropping the forearms down, firmly coming into this dolphin. Exhale, we roll up into plank. Exhale, coming back into that down dog. Final one. We're just doing the dolphin. So, take the second, ground your feet firmly. Deep inhale. On the exhale, drop the forearms down. Coming into this dolphin pose. Interlace the fingers now. Because what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this time to really focus on coming into the pose as much as we can. So you're gonna really get the fingers interlaced. Plant the fingers onto the top of your head so that you can gently begin to walk your legs up until they can't go any further, because we're coming into our first headstand. Now you want to make sure that the crown of your skull is where the hands are kind of resting for the most part as you begin to walk your legs up and gently begin to lift up. We're coming into our first headstand, so if you need to keep a leg down, that's perfectly fine. Just begin to lift the leg up, staying here. Or if you feel like you can, walk your legs all the way up. Gently begin to tuck the knees. Coming into this lower variation of a headstand. And if you need to come down, totally fine. Taking this second, just allow yourself to try to do this practice as much as you can. This is the time that we're going to really try to practice on building that control. Now you might find that having the fingers interlaced doesn't feel comfortable. You can always do another variation with the hands to your side pushing around, but I think it's important that you keep the interlaced fingers and keeping that cradle on the top of the skull as you come up, and again, walking those legs. Now you might find this is enough for you. Keeping a leg planted, engaging the core, keeping the neck engaged as well. You're actively pushing the ground away as we're in this pose. Breathing deep here. If at any point you find too much pressure on the neck, back off, come up, take the second. Turn the neck side to side, forward and back. Take the second to catch your breath. And we'll try to practice it one more time before we come out of this pose. So, interlace the fingers, drop them in front of you. Begin to place the hands onto the top of the skull. Engage your neck as if you're trying to tuck your chin in. Extend the legs up, and this might be your variation. Staying right here, just beginning that process of engaging the core, gently pushing off on the toes, engaging this headstand, wherever you're at in your journey is perfectly fine. We're just taking that second, and on the exhale, let's begin to release. Coming back up, we're gonna walk our hands forward into this child's pose. Extend the arms forward. Really taking the second to just relax the back now, relax the neck down. Breathing here. We did a lot of work. Headstand is not an easy pose. Also, learning that it's not the easiest to give direction on, so we're all learning something new today, guys. Breathing deep here. Inhale, walk your hands back as we sit back into this thunderbolt pose. We're gonna just try to do a little bit of releasing of all this tension on the neck. So deep inhale, coming into this nice engaged core thunderbolt pose. Exhale, raise the right arm over to the left ear. Gently begin to bring the right ear to the right shoulder. Again, keeping that head in line with the shoulder. Ears are in line with the shoulder, not too forward. Extend that left arm down, stretching deep into the neck muscles. Breathing deep here. And we'll switch over to the other side now. Extend the right arm down. Flex to where the palm is trying to extend down towards the ground. Left arm over to the right ear. Left ear to left shoulder. Extending, stretching deep into your sternocleidomastoid, a little bit of the trapezius. Allowing this time to kind of breathe deep here. Inhale back up. On the exhale, we're gonna rotate as if you're trying to honestly smell your armpit. That's the easiest way to kind of look at this. Nose is in line with your chest. Grabbing the back of your head, extending the left arm behind you. Right hand is grabbing the back of the head. We're gonna gently pull down on the exhale, stretching deep into our traps now. Getting a little bit into the back of the neck muscles now. Breathing deep here. Coming back up. Switching over to the other side now. Left arm grabs behind your head as if, again, you're looking past your armpit or smelling your armpit. Dropping that right arm down. Inhale, extend the upper body up. Exhale, pull the back of the head down as we stretch deep into the shoulders and neck muscles. Inhale, come back up. Exhale. Maybe do some light turns in the neck in this thunderbolt pose. Maybe a couple of neck circles. Great job. Now we're gonna do the same thing. On the other side now. So we're gonna gently begin to pull here, coming back into this pose, the sequence of our tabletop. Inhale, push the ground away, coming into this three-legged dog. Now we're doing the same thing on the left side. So lifting that left leg up in the three-legged dog on the inhale. On the exhale, we're gonna open stack the left leg. So the left hip is stacked on top of the right hip. Pressing firmly still into the left hand. We're not allowing this pose to go any less than where we're at right now. Breathing here. On the exhale, we're going to begin to tuck the left leg up, bringing that left knee into the chest, crunching into this, pushing the ground away, engaging that core, just like we would if we're trying to practice a headstand or a handstand. Inhale. Exhale, left knee to left wrist, holding here, still pushing the ground away. Inhale, over to the right wrist now. Exhale, crunch that left knee into the right elbow, engaging that core. Inhale, back up into three-legged dog. Exhale, slowly step that left foot in between the hands as we come up into this crescent lunge. Deep breath here. Extend the arms up as much as you can. Flex that right glute. Round the legs as we're in this crescent lunge pose. Exhale. Pull those arms back. Really open up the chest. Pull those shoulder blades together. Breathing deep here. Deep inhale, arms come up. Exhale, rotate the right arm forward, left arm back. Coming deep into this revolved crescent lunge. Keeping that core engaged, allowing the core to hold you into this revolved position. Deep inhale, plant the right arm down, press deep into the left foot as we come up into this revolved half moon pose. You may need a block, you may need a book, whatever you can to kind of help you come into this pose. Try to elevate that right leg as much as you can. And on an inhale, engage the core. Bring the palms together, lifting that right leg up now. Engaging your hip flexors, your core, grounding deep into that left leg. Deep breath in. On the exhale, begin to roll that right leg over to the right, then behind you. Extend the arms out in front of you or to your sides. You might find that you lose your balance a little bit. That's okay, come back into it as we come into this Warrior 3 pose. We're learning how to engage our core and put our body into single leg balances so that we can force ourselves to learn how to recover in these various poses. Deep inhale, exhale, drop that right leg down, left knee bent. Exhale as we roll that left arm behind us, coming into this reverse warrior. You might want to place your right hand on your right side or behind you and go deeper into the pose. Breathing here for 2 breaths. Inhale and exhale, coming into this pyramid pose. You might need to widen out your stance if you're finding yourself losing your balance. Just walk that right foot a little bit wider. Square it out a little bit more. Deep inhale, roll the arms forward and down to the ground. On the exhale, you're gonna ground the hands deep into the mat. Extend that left leg back into 3-legged plank. Breathing here, pushing the ground away, engaging that core. Inhale. On the exhale, we're coming into that Chaturanga Dandasana. If you need to drop the knee down, do so now. Inhale, back into upward facing dog. Core is engaged, flex the glutes. Exhale, roll all the way back into downward facing dog. Inhale, kick the left leg back up. And on the exhale, we're gonna gently begin to plant that left foot on the outside edge of your mat. Hands are on the inside of the left foot, coming into this lizard lunge. Rock forward and back. This is the time to stretch deep into the hip flexors, opening up the legs, allowing these muscles to relax and release so that we can prepare for our second chance with the headstand. So we're taking that time. Deep inhale. And on the exhale, drop that right knee down. Extend that left arm back. Pressing that right leg away from us, grabbing with that left arm into this lizard lunge variation. Flex the glutes. This is a great time to really open up the hip flexors. And we'll gently begin to hold here for 2 more breaths. Maybe release the flexing, pull the right leg a little bit further towards your glute. Exhale, release. Coming into that plank pose. One last time. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale for upward facing dog. Exhale to down dog. And again, we're gonna start those dolphin rounds. We're gonna do 3 of these. So inhale, drop down into dolphin. Exhale, roll through a plank. Inhale to downward facing dog. Exhale, drop into dolphin. Inhale, up into plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale to dolphin. Exhale to plank. Inhale to downward facing dog. And you know it, final dolphin to help us prepare for our headstand. Exhale, drop the elbows down. Coming into this dolphin, take the second, really push the ground away with this dolphin pose. Forearms are firmly grounded. From here, we're gonna interlace the fingers, place them onto the crown of our head, crown of our skull. Begin to walk the legs slowly up. And you might find that just doing this variation, where your hands are nice, you feel your pinky and ring fingers are firmly into the mat. You're pushing the ground away, engaging those neck muscles as well, engaging your core. And this might just be enough for you. If you want to try to do an attempt of a headstand, again, walk slowly until you can't get your legs any further. And from there, lift one leg into this bent knee variation and begin to gently lift up. And you might find that you can't make an adjustment. I have to make a small adjustment on my hands. Deep inhale, coming back up now. On the exhale, you might find still struggling. And you begin to release. Take the second, if you're ever struggling with the pose. From here, again, take it again. Walk the legs up and engage, pressing deep into the elbows. Engage your core, knees are bent. And if you want, you can start to extend the leg if you think you got it. But if you don't, no worries. Come back into lifting one leg and then the other. And you might not get it today. And we'll begin to release. Coming out of the headstand. Now you find you have to have patience with the headstand. It's not the easiest pose, especially with the interlaced fingers. You're learning a new balance now. So you might, you're seeing that I am struggling a little bit with that today, and that's okay. You find that sometimes you can only do a couple of rounds of those before you get tired. From here, we're gonna begin to come back actually into the child's pose. Gently releasing the shoulders. We did a lot of hard work, everybody. Whichever variation you're doing, it's perfectly fine. Breathing here. Inhale, come back up into Thunderbolt pose if you need a block or a bolster. And do so now. From here, we're gonna allow ourselves to extend up into the Thunderbolt. And again, do the same thing. Let's do left arm to right ear, pulling gently into that left shoulder, extending that right arm down. Breathing deep here, stretching into the neck muscles. We did a lot of hard work today. Great job. Come back up. Right arm to left ear, pulling down. Breathing deep here. Inhale back up. On the exhale, we're going to begin to now do forehead to shoulder. So again, looking towards the armpit, you're going to gently begin to pull the nose down towards the ground, extending that right arm, stretching deep into the
deep neck, deep shoulder, deep back muscles. And begin to release. Switching over to the other side, right arm behind the head, forehead to shoulder. Exhale, pull down, extend that left arm behind you or to your left side, holding deep. Inhale, come back up. And exhale, release. As we just do some head circles. And great job. We'll just look to our left and our right. Up and down. And begin to release. Coming up and over. Begin to cool down, coming into this tabletop pose. We're gonna do some cat-cow because we used a lot of our shoulders and neck. So we wanna try to gently release these neck muscles, release these back muscles. So inhale the cow again, engaging that core, lifting that belly button towards our spine as if a flame is passing underneath us and we're trying to avoid it. Exhale, push the ground away, coming into this cat, really rounding that back, allowing those shoulders to really push out and then stretch as much as you can. Inhale, back to cow. Imagine you're putting on a tight pair of pants. You just ate a big dinner and now you gotta put the pants back on, you gotta kind of pull it in a little bit to get it to fit. Exhale, push the ground away again. Deep, deep here. Inhale one more time into this cow. Exhale into this cat. We're gonna step up into plank for 2 seconds. And then you're gonna begin to roll forward all the way. Drop down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Place your hands in front of you so they can rest. You can rest your forehead on your head, on your hands, coming into this crocodile pose. Allowing the shoulders to kind of relax, giving yourself a breather for a second. We did a lot of hard work, as you can see. Even the instructor can sometimes struggle doing a headstand and also instructing a headstand. So we're all on this journey together. We begin to gently put our arms out to our sides as we come into a twisted scorpion pose. So we're gonna start to stretch out the right side. So you might find that extending the arm out is gonna be easier and more comfortable for you, or you can keep it at that 90-degree cactus as we begin to lift the left leg up and over, reaching towards the ground, stretching deep into that right pec, right deltoid. You might find a little bit of engagement in your scapula, your shoulder blade. Breathing here. On the exhale, you begin to release. Switching over to the other side now. So either cactusing that left arm or extending that left arm. Begin to roll over into this twisted scorpion position. For those who can't see, I want to be mindful that everyone can see. You either got it. You've either got it cactus like this, which is a more intense stretch variation, or you get the arm extended, coming into this twisted scorpion pose. For me, I like the elbow bent in that cactus. This feels more comfortable for me. We begin to release, and what we'll do is we're going to come into a Sphinx pose. So I'm going to come back to that side view for you. Get in the Sphinx, just kind of flexing the glutes gently, being nice and kind to our bodies, our backs. We did a lot of back engagement today. And begin to gently release.
Inhale, come back up into a child's pose. For 1 second, just breathing deep into our back muscles. And inhale, we come up. We're gonna roll over, extending our legs out in front of us. And what we'll do is we're gonna come into that head to knee pose, okay? So what we'll do is, that's my cheat sheet. We're gonna bring that right foot into the right inner thigh, or left inner thigh. Deep inhale, extend the arms up. Exhale, hinging from the hips, rounding forward and down. Extending the arms out to stretch deep into our hamstrings. Into this head to knee pose. It's not about touching the toes, by the way. It's really just about engaging, keeping that back engaged as we round down. You'll still get a deep stretch into the hamstrings. Breathing here. This can also be a resting position. So if you need to place your arms down or place them to your sides or in a block or behind you to push down, it's also fine. Come back up. We're gonna lift this right knee up and over, coming into the half lord of the fishes. Allowing all of this to just gently engage and stretch into our glute. Breathing here. Exhale. Extend the legs back out, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side now. So we're going to bring that left foot into the right inner thigh. Inhale, extend the arms up. Exhale as we begin to fold down, reaching towards that right foot. Again, we're not allowing the upper body to round. We're trying to keep that upper back engaged as we reach towards the toes. If not, grab the shin or go behind you and gently push more forward. We're trying to just get that chest to meet the thigh. Not by rounding, but by allowing general progression with our hips. We begin to release. Begin to lift our left knee up and over the right thigh, hugging the leg. Begin to gently bend that right knee, bringing the right foot into the left glute. From here, you can do this variation of just hugging, or again, if you like the half lord of the fishes where you extend the arm over and twist. Be my guest. I kind of like the hugging variation. I can kind of get deeper into my glute. But that's what I'm looking for. We're looking back behind us. We begin to release. We're gonna now gently begin to place our feet together, coming into butterfly pose. Deep, deep inhale. And on the exhale, we'll begin to fold down slightly, stretching deep into the inner thighs. Come back up. We're gonna place our feet about shoulder width or hip width, actually, a little bit wider than hip width. Next inhale, coming up into this reverse tabletop position. We're gently allowing the neck to relax behind us. Did a lot of work on the neck, so you want to try to decompress however you can. And begin to release. Coming down. We'll now begin to come into our bridge pose, flex the glutes. We're not going overtly past with our low back. We want to keep a neutral low back, not overly arched. Coming into this bridge pose. Exhale, drop our glutes back down. Inhale, hug the knees. Exhale, kind of sit all the way back into this. Great job. From here, we're gonna give ourselves a little bit more of a breather with a little bit more of a spinal twist. So we're gonna gently begin to release the legs, cactus the arms, prepare our body. Deep inhale, lift the knees back up. On the exhale, you're gonna rotate left knee and right knee over to the left, keeping the arms cactused. Chest is trying to stay flat on the ground, both shoulder blades touching the mat as we come into the supine spinal twist. Now you might find this is too much, and if that's the case, you gently just do the same thing by dropping the legs down and coming into this. But whichever variation you need to come into, stay in the supine spinal twist. Over to the left for 2 breaths. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, now we're twisting over to the right now. Again, same thing. Whichever variation you find. We're just trying to keep those shoulder blades on the mat. Breathing for 3 breaths here. And begin to come back up. And now we're gonna come into happy baby, you know it. So we're gonna gently begin to grab the feet, rocking back into this happy baby pose. Breathing here. Maybe you extend one leg and then the other. Maybe you just rock forward and back or side to side, whichever variation feels comfortable for you. And we'll begin to gently release. Coming into our final pose of the practice, our Savasana, or corpse pose. It's important to recognize that we're all on this journey in yoga. You might find that some days you can do everything, and other days you might be more tired or fatigued than you realize and not be able to do everything. And that's perfectly fine. Just allow yourself to this playfulness with your own body, learning how to do this. And especially with inversions. Inversions they take time to kind of even master, and even then you can have it fully mastered. You can be doing it every single day, and there's always going to be those days that are harder than others. So we're just going to continue to just allow ourselves this grace to make mistakes, make problems, make all these variations happen so that we learn and grow through the process. Breathing here. Ground into the mat. Nothing else matters. Just focusing on this breath. Taking this time to fully release and relax. We did a lot of hard work. It's time to give ourselves the gifts of gratitude. And release. Begin to gently open up your eyes. On an inhale, roll to one side or the other. On the exhale, begin to push up. Coming into a comfortable seated position. I want to thank everybody who's joined me for this video.
Thank you for practicing with me. Thank you for growing with me, working with me on this. Take the second to give yourself this gratitude first, though. It's always, as you've seen in other videos or other practices with me, it's always easy to give gratitude outward, but it's hard to give ourselves gratitude. It's hard to allow ourselves that little bit of grace of understanding that we don't normally thank ourselves for the time that we give ourselves. And I think that's important to recognize. But either way, feel free to continue to meditate for longer, or if you start your day off feeling very accomplished. You did a lot. Thank you so much. Have yourself a great rest of your day.